Welcome to Judge Tammy's incredible courtroom, where the truth is unveiled and justice is delivered. Judge Tammi is a seasoned and respected jurist. She presides over civil and criminal cases with unwavering fairness and integrity.
Raise your right hand for me, Mr. Mason. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony that you give in this matter will be true.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Mason, you're before the court on a probation revocation. You were before this court on case 2023CR 08452 and case 2022CR 04970. You were convicted of driving on a suspended or revoked license, obstruction an officer, no insurance, no tag, expired or invalid tag, open container, speeding 11 to 15 over, obstructing an officer on the 5th day of October 2023, and you were sentenced to 6 months on probation. You have 4 months and 20 days remaining. It says that you failed to avoid injurious and vicious habits because you tested positive for methamphetamine, amphetamine, alcohol. And this was on you. Oh, and you failed to report on November 6, 2023. You reported the next day on November 7th of 2023, and you are $1,805 in arrears. Mr. Mason, what kind of party did you go to?
Man, honestly, I don't know how meth. I don't even look like somebody that do meth. Weed and alcohol, I expected to be in my system because I didn't have the, I went on probation that week, and then I went straight to the probation officer at the end of that week or the week after or something of that nature. So I didn't think that was going to be out my system. But how meth got in there, I honestly do not know. I'm not a drug addict or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could tell, Mr. Mason.
You could tell.
Miss Hahn?
Your Honor, Mr. Mason has told me the same thing that he is telling the court right now. So that's essentially all I have to go by.
Maybe somebody stuffed something in my drink. I don't know.
Yes, that is. Your Honor, I don't have anything further. I know Mr. Mason does have support though in his life. His mother was here. I think she was supposed to be logging on to the Zoom.
You said his wife and his mother?
No, just his mother. But she had work, so she was asking me how long it would take. But I
Mr. Mason, how old are you?
I'm 27.
So. I know you're not making your mama miss a day of court over your foolishness. I mean, a day of work over your foolishness.
I'm really not trying to. Honestly, I'm not no criminal. If you look at my charges, it's all traffic tickets for the most part.
Okay, then those are crimes, Mr. Mason. And you wasted my time. You could stop getting traffic tickets.
Yeah, and since the last time I seen you, I done corrected my license. I done went ahead and got my insurance on, corrected the registration and all of that. I'm not trying to continue doing this. I missed my son's birthday over this past weekend. It's taking time for my family. I'm trying to handle business. I was going through the eviction process when this happened. I'm not trying to keep going to court or going back and forth to jail. I'm trying to get everything in my life situated. And I got other things going on. I'm not trying to continue going into your courtroom. I honestly am not.
Ms. Chang, what you got for me, ma'am? What's your recommendation?
Your Honor, the fines were paid in full after he was arrested on November 10th. They were paid. So what we're recommending is that 7 days be revoked, credit for time served since November 7th, and suspend the balance, close the case.
Your Honor, if I may be heard regarding the probation's recommendation.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, Mr. Mason is requesting that the balance of probation not be suspended. Initially, I believe, I'm looking at the disposition, but, and it doesn't say, but I believe Mr. Mason may have been just put on probation just to pay the fines, and he's paid them. So he's requesting that the sentence essentially not just be held over his head, since the fines have all been paid at this point.
This was pay only probation or probation with condition?
There were conditions, Your Honor, but I
Okay,
believe,
then that argument fails. All right, so Mr. Mason, I'm going to revoke 7 days. I'll give you credit for time served. You're going to return to probation and you'll attend one AA or NA meeting per week. And I'll waive the supervision fees, but you're going to attend one AA or NA meeting per week and show proof of that. Because right now, sir, you scare me. I don't want to put you out there to the point where you get behind the wheel of a car. Because if you got meth in your system, but you don't know how you got it, you too far gone.
yeah, go ahead.
I do not take any method.
Okay, and I didn't say you did, but I mean, who ever slipped meth in your drink? Or I didn't know they were doing that, or blew smoke in your face, or you went to sleep and they rubbed some meth on you. I don't know how that works because I don't know. I'm not in that culture. But what I'm saying to you is you need help. Because this is a lot to come back on a test. I usually expect, like you said, marijuana, alcohol, but you done hit me with the meth. And so no, that's a lot. You had everything. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is you'll return to probation, you'll report as directed, and you'll attend one AA or NA meeting per week and show proof of it. That's not too much to get yourself back together. I'm trying to help you. You say you want to get your life back together. I'm trying to give you the means to do so.
Okay, yeah, I have been trying to, I've got a good job. I had a good job before I ended up locked up here. It was paid almost $20 an hour. I had just started it 2 weeks beforehand.
Mhm.
Had a drug test for that. And then come back with any meth or anything in my system.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to help yourself. You're gonna attend those NA, Narcotics Anonymous, or Alcoholics Anonymous. You're gonna attend one of those meetings each week and show proof of having gone. Because I really feel like there's more going on here than you're admitting. But like I said, if you're in a situation where you don't even know how you got exposed to meth, then that's a problem.
And how long is this for, Your Honor? Just the balance of the probation?
Yeah.
Your
All
Honor,
right. Yes.
if I may, he needs to report tomorrow.
I still got a report every month.
Report in person tomorrow at 1:45.
All right. All right, sir. 1:45 tomorrow.
1:45 tomorrow. 1:45.
Yes, she said.
To the probation office.
To the probation office. Let's check.
Okay.
All right. All righty. Thank you. Anything else? This is Miss Hunter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Hunter, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Miss Hunter, you're before the court on 2023 CR 09907. Alexis Dion Marshall, count 1, theft by shoplifting, count 2, drug-related objects, and count 3, marijuana 1 ounce or less. You're entering a plea. What's your client pleading to, Mr. White?
Pleading guilty to count 1 and 2, Your Honor.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to theft by shoplifting, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself, and if you're not a United States citizen. A plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, I do.
Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On February 24th of 2023, an officer was dispatched to 5660 Jonesboro Road in Lake City, Georgia, where the incident occurred in Clayton County. So in reference to a physical altercation between two subjects. Once the officer arrived, he observed the defendant, Ms. Hunter, as well as Ms. Steele standing in the passenger side door of a vehicle. Both of them were actively engaged in the physical altercation. The officers made contact and were able to detain them and place them in separate patrol cars. At the time, the officer observed that the defendant appeared to be highly intoxicated and that he could smell the odor of alcoholic beverage coming from her person. Ms. Hunter advised they were play fighting. When the officer spoke with her,
Where's the theft come in?
Theft, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one.
because you had, I don't know. Okay, that concludes the facts, Your Honors. The state is recommending for count 1, 12 months to serve, 4 days, the balance to be suspended, pending no new violations of the law and no contact with the victim, in this case, or co-defendant, Ms. Steele.
What's her name? Full name?
Dion, Dionnne, Steele, Steele.
All right, so Miss Hunter, what's your relationship with Miss Steele?
She's my aunt.
Okay, well, that's gonna be hard for them to have no violent arrest, no contact. I'm gonna put no violent or harassing contact. Does Miss Hunter have a history?
Got some stuff going on. I don't have a updated one. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's right. What's the one you have, say?
She's got a pending battery charge from August of 2022. Oh, so that was prior to this one. I don't know who this is. And I don't think that one's with us.
Not the same person. All right. So, Miss Hunter, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Miss Hunter, you have any children?
Yeah, she's right there.
Why is she? How old is she?
She's about to be 2 in December.
The father's with her, Your Honor.
Oh, Lord. Okay, now, Miss Hunter, let's talk. It's time to grow up, ma'am. Mamas who are raising children, we try not to get into fights in public. We don't fight. What is the point? You have spent time away from your child. She's 2 years old. Do you think she understands where her mama is? She just knows her mama ain't there. And so you have a responsibility to that 2-year-old. All of this foolishness here, first of all, getting so drunk that you can't manage yourself puts her in danger. Because what if something happens to you? What happens to her? Start thinking like a mama. Start thinking like somebody who there's somebody more important in this world than yourself. And that's that 2-year-old you made. She didn't ask to be here, but you got her. So now you have to make that commitment to her that I'm not going to do stupid stuff. I'm not going to jail on some foolishness. I'm not going to be missing from your life for days at a time and you don't know where your mama is. I'm not going to be fighting in public because I'm too grown for that. What I need to be doing is finding me a good job so I can make sure that you have food on the table, clothes. It's wintertime. It's whole time to change over her wardrobe and benefits. She needs medical care. She needs health insurance, all of that. Where are you working?
I don't have a job as of now.
Okay. Well, see, instead of getting drunk and fighting your aunt, you should have been looking for one.
Yeah, I was in school for medical assistance. I got kicked out of school for this. I've been here for 4 months.
You see what you're risking when you're not acting responsibly?
Yeah.
You see what you messed up a whole job a whole career, not just a job, a career for foolishness. You're 31 years old. Stop acting like you're 12.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no alcohol so good where you got to get yourself so messed up that you in the public fighting with your auntie and risking being away from you. You've been in here for 4 months. Your daughter don't even remember you. She don't remember you. You have deprived her of a mother for 4 months over foolishness. And this is the other part. Your whole responsibility is to make sure she's okay. If you were away for 4 months, hopefully she got a good daddy, because you don't know if somebody's touched her, if somebody's done something to her, if somebody's deprived her of food, if somebody has put her in danger in any way. They just putting her in a car with no seatbelt. You don't know. Because you spent 4 months in the Clayton County Jail. Let's not do this again, ma'am. You have a responsibility to that child. Stop acting like you 12 and act like you a 31-year-old woman who has responsibilities. Go out and find you a good job and then start thinking about a career path for you. You got 2 pending violent things. This right here and the one that hasn't even gone to court yet. What has fighting gotten you? Other than jail time, what have you benefit from all these fights? Okay, that's all I got to say. All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to count 1. Count 2 will be no pros. I'll send you to 12 months to serve 4.
I didn't know pros count 2, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I messed it up. Go ahead.
It was 12 months to serve 4 days, and the balance to be suspended.
All right. So count 2 will run concurrent with count 1, 12 months to serve 4 days, balance suspended as long as you have no violent or harassing contact with Dion Steele. Count 2 will be 12 months to serve 4 days, balance suspended as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia. Now, Ms. Hunter, go out there and act like a grown-up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Go raise your child and stop getting into all these fights and foolishness.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you can be the baddest chick on the block. 4 months in jail while somebody else is raising your child who's forgotten about you by now. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, for Mr. Roberts. Your Honor, for Mr. Roberts, my understanding is that the state was filing a motion to revoke bond. Can I just request that that be heard really soon?
It was gonna be heard before, but he didn't show up for court. So I'm cool with that. But what we got on the calendar for the rest of the week, Miss Val?
Nothing.
Okay, well, we're not hearing it this week.
Right.
Because I would have heard it today had he come to court, but
And Ms. Janvier got to get her witnesses and stuff, so we need 2 weeks. Like that's a normal procedure. He didn't come, and we need 2 weeks to set him again and file it. You filed it today?
I know the motion to revoke bond has been filed.
yeah, it's still filed. It just we need to reset the date. So Miss Janvier, Miss Val, y'all figure out a date, Mr. White, and then y'all let me know. Because I plan on attending Mr. Cash's funeral this week, so I'm not signing up for anything else right now.
And Your Honor,
Mr. White, send me an email, and then I'll look at a date and respond back with Ms. Janvier on it, please.
yes. And Your Honor, my intention with that case is also to file an immunity motion. I don't know if it'd be possible to just hear them both. I know if the immunity motion is heard, then the motion to revoke bond becomes pointless.
Okay, it's like tit for tat. Why didn't we have an immunity motion already ready? We file a motion to revoke and now all of a sudden we got an immunity motion. I don't mind hearing them together. It's witnesses, it's a hearing. Don't have a problem with that. But it sounds like, oh, well, this is our defense to a motion to revoke bond. Okay. Generally, if I had the ability for one of my clients to have an immunity motion, that's the first thing I would file.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the only thing is, of course, I just wasn't the attorney.
I just don't want one of those, see what had happened was, or one of those where I was fighting in defense of my recording equipment. Been there, done that. So y'all work it out. I don't care if we hear both motions, one motion. I don't care. Work it out. Because it's just a hearing to me. I'm gonna hear it hear or not hear it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I try to get into touch with Miss Clowney. I don't think she's in the office right now. I don't know where she at.
Okay. Did anybody answer?
They answered, but they said she wasn't in the office.
Well, tell
Shit.
them that Judge Hayward is expecting her to be in court now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lawson, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Richard Anthony Lawson, 2022 CR 02727. So you were before this court for theft of by receiving stolen property. On the second day of August 2022, you will receive 12 months on probation, and you have 3 months and 29 days remaining. Your sentence was told because we lost track of you. So it says you failed to report as directed on November 15th, December 13th of 2022, January 10th, and within 10 days of February 15th of 2023 for a scheduled revocation hearing on April 24th. You last reported on October 28th of 2022. You failed to provide proof of completing a theft prevention course. You failed to provide proof of doing 80 hours of community service. You failed to provide to pay in your $400 in arrears. Ms. Hahn?
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with Mr. Lawson, he indicated to me that part of the struggle here was that he had a very sick child. And that was in the hospital for quite a while. And so he was doing a lot of traveling, to care for his child. However, he does understand that he was supposed to communicate, and he's accepting responsibility and like to accept Mr. Austin's recommendation. So he'll stipulate and agree to the violations.
All right, Mr. Lawson, we can't help you if you don't let us help you. If something's going on in your life and you don't communicate that to us, then we look awfully cruel and heartless because something's going on with your life and your baby's sick and we don't know. If we don't know, we can't help you. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because you could have brought us anything from a doctor and we might have been able to make some adjustments. Mr. Austin, what's your recommendation?
Your Honor, the recommendation is him to serve 30 days. The defendant has been locked up since October 8th at this time. So we are wanting him to serve 30 days and close this case out.
Okay, that's reasonable. 1 second. All right, I'm going to accept the recommendation. Hold on.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was trying to make there.
So I'll give him credit since the date of lockup.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so defendant shall serve 30 days. He'll receive credit since the date of lockup. After service of 30 days, defendant's case should be closed and he shall be released on this case. All right, anything else on your behalf of your client, Ms. Hahn?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Thank you.
That's me.
Your Honor, I got in touch with Mr. Arca since I know him from Douglas County.
Okay.
The one for Joseph Wilson, I provided him with the Zoom information. He said that he should be on shortly.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. White. All right. Yes, Deputy.
Nothing, Ms. Hahn broke my computer, so I'm trying to fix it.
I don't think we have money in the budget for a new computer, Ms. Hahn. I just really do not think we do.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
When you come back.
I hear y'all and y'all look fine to me. Maybe it's not really broken.
Nah, it's broke. You mean like this?
That's fine, whichever,
Or
whatever,
are you talking about the original?
as long as we.
What's wrong with it? Do we need to get Ben?
No, because
No.
we can see them and hear them just fine. It's not broken.
It's not that serious.
Your Honor,
It's the good kind of broken.
I think Deputy Jones is just uncomfortable with the way the screen is showing.
Look, from this point of view, it's showing just fine. Let's bring out the next person. Who's next?
Who's the next person y'all think?
Miss Taylor, maybe? I'm not sure. if
Hold
that's-
on, hold on. Y'all not keeping track of the calendar. Hold on. The next person is Phillips, Queen Marie Phillips.
Your Honor, with
Queen
that,
Marie is back.
yes, Your Honor. So what happened with that case last time she was in court, I asked to get her a mental evaluation. I did send that in. It has not come back yet. However, Ms. Phillips has refused to come to court, so they did not bring her up.
All right, well, that's right up her, that's in her wheelhouse to refuse if she wishes to. So we'll just reset it for 2 weeks.
Your Honor.
Bless her heart. Don't y'all be breaking up my equipment. I can't afford all of that. I stay within my budget. Miss Val, we stay within our budget.
Your Honor, so sometimes, I don't know if you notice, like when we're looking at the screen, it'll go out in front of you. So I was just like moving the mouse to try to make it come back on so that we're not like looking like this. But I clicked something, so.
Oh, Lord.
Well, just at the end, I'll let Jones tell me and I'll get Ben to look at it while Judge is out at
Yeah,
conference.
y'all don't touch
That's
it.
okay, Miss Val. It just kind of times out, so it's not.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Taylor.
All right. Ma'am, Miss Taylor, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Ms. Taylor, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Adolphia Shantia Taylor, 2023 CR 09049 for criminal trespass. You're represented by Attorney Hahn, who's with you. Ms. Taylor, by entering, did I have her raise her hand already? No, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Ms. Hahn, what does she wish to enter a plea to criminal trespass?
No, low, Your Honor.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo to the offense of criminal trespass, Ms. Taylor, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things? Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On September 12th of 2023, an officer was dispatched to 5758 Highway 85 in Riverdale, Georgia, where the incident did occur in Clayton County. At that time, the officer was advised that the defendant, Ms. Taylor, had been in a verbal altercation and with Carl Pullins and refused to use her key to open the apartment door and instead kicked the door in. And the officer observed the damage to the door. The state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days credit for time served, the balance to be suspended, and do not return to the location and stay away from the victim, Carl Pullins, Pullins.
Isn't he a defendant? Is this a co-defendant case? Maybe not. All right, so you say it's Carl Cullins?
Pullins, Pullins, Your Honor.
All right, so, okay, that none of that made sense. So we're refusing to use a key and we kicking in doors. Tell me that again.
Me, Your Honor?
I guess so. I mean, I just didn't understand. Maybe I missed it. Maybe
That's what it says, Your Honor.
so they go to Mr. Pullins' apartment, and instead of using the key to get in, they kick in the door. Who is they?
So no, the defendant, Miss Taylor's the one that kicked the door in.
He kicked in a door.
She kicked in the door.
Okay. Miss Taylor, you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are your children, Miss Taylor?
Well, upon being arrested for this, they had to go with their father.
Who's their father?
Taylor's place.
So that's not Mr. Pullins.
No, ma'am. He was just a roommate that I was actually renting from. Well, paying him weekly to stay.
And what happened?
I ended up leaving. Well, we had a verbal confrontation. He moved his baby mom in. She really didn't want me there. I ended up leaving. When I came back to actually enter the apartment, they wouldn't let me in. We called the police. They then told the police that I had kicked in the door, which I hadn't, but I also had my key on me, but I ended up getting arrested. So.
Okay, that's it. That story makes a lot more sense than she refused to use a key to enter a door if she had a key. What? Okay. How much time has she served?
Your Honor, she served, she said like 35 days so far, and they're asking for 30 days, but the facts are, again, why we're entering the plea of nolo.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm going to give you one opportunity, ma'am, to go back with the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office is going to keep the peace, but you'll have to carry away any items that are yours personally. So you need transportation. You might need somebody to help you, but I'll give you one opportunity to make an appointment with the sheriff's office to go back to get your undisputed personal property. So anything that you had in your private living area, and if something's been gone through or messed over, don't fight with them. You can make a claim about it later, but don't fight with them because the sheriff's is going to be there to keep the peace. Okay. So I'm going to accept your plea of nolo. I'll send you to 12 months to serve 30 days credit for time served. Balance will be suspended as long as you, other than what I've said, as long as you don't go back to that location and have no contact with Carl Pullins. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you working, Miss Taylor?
Unfortunately, I lost my job, but I will be looking for
Okay. What were you doing?
I was actually forklift warehouse.
Go ahead, ma'am. I like that. All right. So you should be able to find another job because forklift drivers are always being looked at. Okay. So, yeah, this is a difficult situation because when you have housing difficulties and you gotta like depend on somebody and room to room, and no situation is ideal until you have your own.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, okay, ma'am, I'm going to, you can go back down with the sheriff's office, and as long as there's nothing holding you, you'll be free to go. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Excuse me, Judge.
Mr. Dickerson is on by video. Mr. Dickerson, can you unmute? All right. I see Mr. Dickerson present. I don't see counsel, but I do see Mr. White in the courtroom.
I'm Franklin present too.
Franklin Joku.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I pronounce that somewhere close?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, sir, you're before the court for no insurance and following.
Natalie!
Sir, until Natalie gets there, I'm gonna go ahead and mute your device. All right. All right. So, Mr. Joku, You are before the court for no insurance and following too closely. You do not have an attorney. If you want one, I can appoint one, but do you wish to hear what the state is offering at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms.
Yes,
Jones,
Your Honor. For account one, be a $200 fine. And I do believe he would be NOLO eligible.
Okay.
And yes, and then for account two, it is a $100 fine.
All right. So, Mr. Joku, the $200 fine would be $298 with the surcharges, and you'd be eligible to enter a NOLO plea. The NOLO plea would be would make sure that your license is not suspended. Just hold on for just one. $100 fine, which is $150 with the surcharges. And did you wish to take this plea today?
Yes. Yes.
Who's your lawyer, Mr. Joku?
I don't have none.
I hear somebody saying yes. All right.
Oh, no.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Franklin Chooks Julku, 2022 CR 01165 for no insurance and following too close. You're entering a plea of NOLO to counts 1 and 2. And by doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On February the 4th of 2022, an officer was dispatched to Church Street and King Road, where the incident occurred in Clayton County. It was in reference to a vehicle collision. At that time, the officer made contact with the drivers and determined that the defendant was at fault for following too closely and did not have valid insurance. The state is recommending a $200 fine for count 1 and a $100 fine for count 2. Additionally, Your Honor, the defendant has a bench warrant. However, prior to submitting that set aside, I would just like to confirm the defendant's address, as that was there were 2 prior arraignments that he missed, and he has another case that's pending.
So, Mr. Joku, so that we don't end up with another bench warrant on the pending case, sir, can you, Ms. Harvey, can you tell the court what the address is that the clerk has on file?
Yes, ma'am. The notices have been sent to 5724 Riverdale Road, Atlanta, Georgia.
No, ma'am, that's not my address, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Mr. Joku, at the time that you were arrested, that was the address we had, and I understand that it has taken some time to get to this point, but it's your responsibility as the defendant to update the court as to your new address. Now, this is what I'm going to do. You'll have, you're going to have to update your address with the clerk of state court. Are you in town so that you could go in person and do that?
Yes, ma'am. But I got a warrant. I was wondering if I go and do that.
Well, no, I control the warrants. So, but you have to go and update your, I'll only sign a bench warrant set aside if we can get your new address, and then if you can go and update that with the clerk's office. Okay. Can you do that today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what I'm going to need you to do is go on the chat function. Do you know how to use chat?
Yeah, like I did chat before at first and say I don't know if I was here. Yeah, I see we say it's chart on the screen right here.
Okay, go to chat, and then when you get to chat, click on everyone. When you see that pull down menu, you're going to go down to close to the bottom. You're going to see Shakoya Harvey,
Shakoya Harvey,
court clerk.
Yeah,
Yes. Type your address and your email address and phone number into that box and send it to her, please.
Okay.
Now, that does not change your address with the court. You're still going to have to come in, but that assures us that we know that you have a different address.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, she said I have another upcoming.
Get one thing at a time, Mr. Joku. Let's go ahead and get that address so we can focus on finishing this and then talking about the next case, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, let's go back to Mr. Dickerson. Mr. Dickerson, are you able to unmute and show me that you're here? All right, Mr. Joku, as much as I love Afrobeats and international music, I'm gonna need you to turn that off right now.
Alexa, off.
All right, so Mr. Joku, let me know when you're finished sending that to Ms. Harvey. Mr. Dickerson.
Yes, I'm here.
There you are, sir. So
I was trying to get my video to work. I'm still waiting to speak. I'm here today because last week the system was down and I was supposed to speak with my attorney about system being down or whatever.
Okay, Mr. White, do you represent Mr. Dickerson?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna put y'all in a breakout room, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
All right, so Mr. Dickerson, when you see the breakout room prompt, go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to talk with Mr. White. There's nobody else in the courtroom, so y'all have it all to yourselves, okay?
Okay.
All right, 1 second. Breakout room number 2, Mr. Dickerson and Mr. White. All right, you should see the prompt, Mr. Dickerson.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Joku, you finished typing?
Almost.
And there's the gentleman who would, is this Mr. Armstead? John Lewis Armstead? At the top? The gentleman who, with the gray hair, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but what's your name, sir? I just see Derek's iPhone. You're muted. Unmute for me. Unmute for me. So if you're looking at your computer, your device, it should be something that looks like an old-fashioned microphone.
Ma'am, I just did.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Joku, so do you understand all the rights that you have? So you're entering a plea of NOLO to no insurance and following too close. The fine for no insurance is $200, $298 with the surcharges, and for following too close is $100, but $151.50 with the surcharges. So that's $151.50. Now I can give you up to 60 days without putting you on probation if you need additional time. Did you need as much as 60 days, or did you just need 30 days to pay those?
I need 60 days, ma'am. I'll pay them 60 days.
That's fine, Mr. Joku. So, Mr. Joku, if you wish to pay the entire amount, you can pay it online or by phone. If you wish to pay in increments, a part here, a part there, as long as you do it within the 60 days, you need to come into the courthouse. But in any case, you can always come into the courthouse and make your payment on the second floor, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right, now, did you have any other questions?
None.
Okay, Ms. Harvey, you have his email address?
No, ma'am. He only sent his physical address. If he could send his email address as well.
Okay, so Mr. Joku, I need your email address because that's how we're going to send you the information from this hearing.
Okay.
All right, if you send that to Ms. Harvey.
I'm typing it right now.
Okay, now, the next thing is you said you have a pending case. Ms. John VA, do you know what that pending case is about?
I do believe it's a simple battery. It hasn't been accused yet. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure when that's going to come up, Mr. Joku. It hasn't been accused yet, which means it's still being considered by the solicitor's office. But you do need to come into the courthouse on the first floor to the state court clerk's office, and they'll give you a form to update your information. Okay, please make sure you bring some ID with you.
Okay.
All right. Did you have any other questions for me?
No, for right now.
All right, check your email either this afternoon or tomorrow, and you should have your sentencing sheet with all of the information we discussed, okay?
Okay, so what is the email? What email are they sending me from? What is it going to say so I can just type it? You know how you type it up on your email?
Should say state court clerk.
Okay, state court clerk. Okay.
All right. Mr. Joku, you're free to go at this time. Please understand.
I'm sorry, man. One more question. So my total amount was, the first one was $290. $298, and the second one was
$151.50.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I just have to help.
All right. Oh, last thing. Make sure you pay it within the 60 days or an arrest warrant could issue. And there was something else I meant to tell you. That's all I can think about right now. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So do I still have a bench warrant, or is it going to be dropped?
No, I'm going to sign the bench warrant set aside since you provided Ms. Harvey your information.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. Oh, and Mr. Joku, that NOLO is your only opportunity to avoid a suspension. If you have another one of these within the next 5 years, your license may be suspended, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all. I'll be right back.
Thank you for joining me on this journey inside Judge Tammi's daily courtroom. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the world of law and justice by Judge Tammi. Thanks for watching, everyone.